So today we're going to discuss a very new topic called chatter. Now, what is this chatter? Chatter is just like a social networking platform that Salesforce has given to you. You can have people messaging, people can follow you on chatter, you can follow the records on chatter, all those kind of things you can do through the chatter. So that within the company. And this is within the Salesforce, one of the object that the chatter has been provided to you. But is it within the company people or outside also? It's mostly within the app, yeah, in the whole application. So if there are hundreds and hundreds of users, you will be able to connect with all of the users. So all the users of that application. Yes.
So the chatters of that application.
So you'll see everyone like in the whole group.
It's like a social network.
Yeah, for the internal.
It's like an intranet.
Yeah, for the
Yahoo Messenger. हाँ but खाली जो भी ये project कर रहा है उसके ऊपर.
Yeah.
So if there's 3 projects running in the company, you can't chat with all 3.
No,
only with that.
organization wise, so you can follow people on the whole.
Like link, आप link use करता होंगे.
हाँ, LinkedIn तो पूरी दुनिया में है.
Like Microsoft has Microsoft Link that you can use within the company because the company.
So that then we have Salesforce
So
chat.
you don't have to go to the cubicles.
So I don't know.
Not based on the application like recruiting or anything like that, right?
That's what I'm trying to clarify.
It's beyond.
Beyond that, okay. So next we have is, so this is the chatter. This is how you can access the chatter. You can go up here under this, any of the application. I think sales application has this chatter here. So this is how you can see the chatter. Now on this one, if you wanted to change your profile or anything, you can go ahead and click on this Deepika Khanna. You can add the photo here. It's just very simple. And the next thing you can do is you can post something. It's just like following on Twitter. If you follow someone, you will be able to see their post. Okay, but you won't be able to see, if somebody is not following you, then he won't be able to see your post. So if you follow someone, you'll be able to see the post, but that person will still not be able to see your post because he's not following you.
So following is important.
Yeah, so whom you follow, you will be able to get the post. So let's say if you go back to the chatter, on this side, you see all the people on this Priyanka, all these are the users that we have created under this application. So you see all of those people here. Okay, and if you wanted to go ahead and check more here, so you can go ahead and go to the people group, and here you can see all the people that you can follow. You see that?
Yeah.
Now if let's say I follow Will Smith and I say following, so now if I follow Will Smith, what will happen is whatever Will Smith is going to post on his wall, I will be able to see it on my chatter. So here, if I log out and log in back again as willsmith1@gmail.com, why do I need verification code? So let's say share. So now everyone who is following him will be able to see the chatter. Now if I go back here and log out and log in back again as so now if you go back, he will be Deepika will get the message from Will Smith. But if Deepika posts anything, then no one, because no one is following her, then no one will get the post from here. Hi, this is Deepika. Here you can also select to whom you want to send it to a particular group, and if you wanted to only send it to your followers. So we'll talk about what group is. This is Deepika, and then just go ahead and share. But now no one, because Will Smith is not following you, so Will Smith is not going to get any updates. So this is one way that you can go ahead and.
And there's also a way where you share files.
Yes, yes.
Documents that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we will see what we can do here. So now if I go to chatter, in the chatter I don't see Deepika's post because Will Smith is not following Deepika. So now here what also you can do is you can follow a particular record, and if that record somebody changes, you will get a notification about that. For example, if I go back here So if you go to the chatter here, let's say you wanted to now if you wanted to, let's say, do something called as feed tracking here. So first thing is that has to be enabled. Okay. So there is a feature available in Chatter called feed tracking, which is very similar to doing the tracking of a particular feed. So first thing is, if you go to the position and if you wanted to follow a particular, yeah, go ahead. You want something? So now let's say these are the different. So first thing is you go to the setup here and you type in here feed tracking, and this is a feature available in the Chatter. So now what you can do is you can enable the feed. These are the different objects that Salesforce has provided, and also it also gives you the list of the custom objects like job application, job posting, etc. So these are the different kinds of objects we have. So now if you wanted to, let's say, enable anything for the position object, so you go ahead and click the position on the left hand side and you can say enable the feed tracking. Now what this is, and also you can select which fields you want to track. Okay, so here you can select up to 20 fields in the feed tracking. Let's say I wanted to track if somebody changes the minimum or the maximum pay, if somebody changes the open date for the position, I should know, and if somebody changes the status of the position, I should get a notification. So now these are the fields that you are enabling the feed tracking on. So what is it? It's the maximum and minimum pay, open date, and status. So these are the 4 fields that we are wanted to track. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit the save button here.
Why is mine grayed out?
Because you first need to check on this enable feed tracking on the top. Do you see the checkbox? Then it will get enabled. Okay, and then you maximum, minimum, open date, and status.
There's no save? Oh, there is.
Yeah, there is a save on the top. Okay, so now these are the different fields that you wanted to enable. Now if you go back to the position object, guys, and if you click on one of these, initially there was no follow button. You see that on the right hand side? Because the feed tracking for that object was not enabled. So if you go to the candidates, there, if you click on one of these records, there is no follow button here because the feed tracking is not enabled for this object yet. So if you wanted to have the follow button, follow means basically I wanted to follow this record, and if someone changes anything on that record, I should get a message on my chatter that, okay, somebody changed, so and so person has changed this particular thing. You getting my point? Here, so if I wanted to have a follow button, what I'm going to do, I'll go back to the setup, I'll click on feed tracking here, and then you have to select the candidate object from the left hand side. So if I go back here, you say feed tracking under the chatter, and here you go to the candidate object. Okay, it's the candidate object, enable the feed tracking. Once you enable the feed tracking, which particular thing you want to enable, SSN number I want to do, and then that's all I need. Okay, so then I just want to do, if somebody changes the SSN, I should get. Now if I go to the candidates and if I go to a particular record, now you will see there is a follow button here, and if somebody changes anything in this particular record, I will get a message on my chatter. So let's go back, and I wanted to follow this account manager thing. Okay, and I wanted to follow this, so I'm following this record. Now let's say this record got changed by someone, then what will happen? Because I'm following this particular record. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, first of all, before jumping into that, I need to change my OWD because yesterday we made it to private. So we'll go here, we'll click on the edit button. For the position, I wanted to make public read write.
We have a
What is it?
to get your OWD.
You don't have to do, I think.
No, I know, but how do you get it?
So we talked yesterday, it's the sharing settings. If you go up here and you select the sharing settings, you click on that one, and then here these are the OWD settings you have. So I made it for the position object, I made it public read write. For the candidate, I think it's already public read write. Okay, So now if we go back and if I log out, so I am following this particular record. Which record? Account manager record. I'm following this record. And if someone changes anything on this, I should get a message here or on the chatter that so and so person has changed something. Okay. So now if I log out and log in back again is, let's say, Will Smith. And we go back to the position object and I change this particular account manager. And you see that, okay, these are the people who are following. So there is a follow and there is a followers. So since I'm following, I have this thing here. Now, if I go back here and if you click on the edit button, and let's say we change the open date to 4th, and let's say we change the status to pending approval, and then we change the type to full time. So which fields we are following? We are only following the status field, open date field, maximum and minimum pay, right? But what fields I have changed? I have changed the open date, I have changed the status, and I have also changed this type. So let's see what happens now. If I go back and hit the save button. See, you only got a notification that Will Smith has changed the open date from this to this and status from new, but you are not getting a notification about the type changed because you have not checked that type in the feed tracking. Okay. Now if I log out and log in back again as Deepika, what happens now? If I go back here and if I go to this one and if I go to my chatter, you will see that in the account manager record, because you are following that, and Will Smith, who has changed something, Will Smith has changed these particular fields. Okay, so you got a notification that, okay, I'm following this record, so and so person has changed these two things on that. And if you also wanted to see if somebody has changed the type, then you have to first enable the field tracking on that particular field. How many field tracking you can do? You can have up to 20 fields you can click on at once. Okay, there is a number on that feed tracking. Next thing you have is if you, these are the, so you can follow records, you can follow people here. If you wanted to upload something, there is a place called file here. Okay. And did we see an example for the documents uploading some, how to change the logo in the Salesforce? We never did that? Are you sure?
Yeah. We haven't uploaded any documents. We only done download.
Okay, we never uploaded a document. Okay. So before coming into that, let's say guys, there is an app. Let's say I wanted to create a custom application. Okay. And what it is there in the custom application, if I go to the application here, and if I click on app, so generally what happens is if you wanted to share a document with the Salesforce people, that particular document has to put it under the documents object here. So that is available. If you click on this plus button, you will see this documents here. This is the document object that you have. So anything that you wanted to use on this in the Salesforce, you first need to put it on the document. You can't just go ahead and upload it directly from your computer. Okay. So let's say I wanted to change the logo of this particular application, the one that I'm working on, the recruiting application. Or if I create a new application, let's say, that's what I was thinking. Create apps, and let's say, then I will just take 2 minutes. Go to the recruiting here, and let's say I wanted to edit this particular logo here. So what I have to do first, I have to first upload that document. See, if I wanted to insert an image, so it goes to my personal document. It does not go to that upload from computers. Why? Because first you need to put that particular file in under the documents tab. So first I'll go to my plus sign here, and then I'll go to this documents, and then I'll upload a document. So I'll click on new here. Let's say logo for recruiting.
You basically need to come up with your JPEG logo or something.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, so you have to come, and the size should also be less than 20 kilobytes for the logo. Okay. Yeah, 20 KB. That's, and now here this is important. if you're using this document internally, you click on this. If you're using this document externally outside, then you click on this. One has to be clicked if you wanted to use this image somewhere else. Okay, so generally I click on the external available image, so it'll be available as well as internally as well as externally. So here, yeah. So now we go back here and we select a particular file. Let's say I go to my desktop. I might have a file. Okay, let's say this is the one. Okay, and hit the save button. So now you will see there is a logo came up here. Okay, this is the logo. And this document is available for external use. Now what I'm going to do is I'll go back to the setup and I'll go back to my app recruiting. Right now you see this particular butterfly here on the left. So to change that, you go to your app section and you wanted to click on the recruiting. This is the one that you wanted to go ahead and change. You edit this one and here you go ahead and insert another image, which is this one. So I wanted to click on this. So now go ahead and hit the save button. Now what will happen is that particular logo will get changed to the one that you have just created.
So basically, the documents is kind of like an internal Dropbox.
Yeah, so they're using that documents as the Dropbox where people can share the files.
Okay. So does it also check for like viruses and all that stuff, or do you just
No, I don't think so. They check it for viruses and all that. So those will, they have more secured or virus hoga kuch inka online. I'm not sure about that. So here, now if you go to the chatter, what is going to happen here is, let's say you wanted to upload from in the chatter, you can directly upload a file from a computer, and you can select any file that you wanted to share. Let's say
Avatar movie. Avatar movie. 10 MB.
so there is a file that I wanted to upload, and then you can share. You can even share it with either people, or you can create a group and you can specifically share with that group. So now if I go back and I've uploaded a file, maximum file size is 2 GB. So there is a limit on how much you can upload, and then you have.
Everybody who is following you will get it.
Yeah, because everyone who's following will get this particular file. If you want to delete it, you can just go ahead, and if you wanted to upload a new version, you can even do that, and Salesforce will take care of the different versions as well. So it also does the versioning on this one. So if you wanted to have a new file, then you can upload a new version of the file, and you can also specify what changed in that file, so it will keep track of this is the old one, this is the updated one. So that they do that. Okay, so this is, and then if you wanted to see it, you can see there's a, you can take a look at the file that we have uploaded. Okay, and here on this side you will see all the versions of this file. So if you click on this left hand side, it will show you all the versions here of this particular file. If you want to delete it, you can delete it from here. If you want to download it, you can download it here. All these kind of things you can do it from the.
But when you're using this memory, it's like you're buying it from Salesforce. If it goes beyond a certain point, they might charge you more, right?
Yes, exactly. So that they have a limited, because you're taking the cloud space. So if they are using more of cloud space, you need to end up paying them.
Instead of using your own internal.
So this is going to go back to the same question that she confused me on yesterday about the profile.
No. This has nothing to do with the profile and all that.
No. I was just kind of. So when you set up the account, or when a company sets up the account for the admins, or like if it's
Editions. And each of the Salesforce editions will exactly tell you how many licenses of what type it's going to come from. So let's say your company has an enterprise. Okay, so they are paying 125 per user per month. And these are the different things that you're going to get it from here. You can do all these kind of stuff. Okay, but they never mention how much data you're going to get it here. So they're just talking about how many licenses, how many users you can have in your application. Okay, so what is your question on this one? So these are different and most.
No, I know that. I'm just saying, how do you know how much space you're getting? Or how does the company know how much space? Or is that a separate purchase?
That's going to be separate. That's more of
their technical, whatever.
Yeah, what they're buying and buying.
200, 300.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about how much data they get.
I know this. With like a professional, they only give you 10 gig or 30 gig. With enterprise, they give you a terabyte. You know, I mean, is it per user or is it company wide?
It's company wise. That's pretty sure. It's company wise. It's not per user.
It's not per user.
But then they can track it, like if somebody is using more of they're required to internally in the company, not like they're going to track each and every user. But if there's someone using more than they have to, then they're going to have an issue with that.
So let's say you have 100 people, you get 50 professional license and 50 enterprise, but then the professional guys are using more than your enterprise.
Then you can talk to but they don't get it like this particular profile is going to get this much data. No, there is nothing like that. Okay, so now if you go back, okay, so you see this, you go to the chatter here, you can create groups. Okay, so there are groups that you can create. There are mainly there are two different types of three, I will say. They've just added a new one. There's a public, private, and broadcast. So public means everyone will be able to see and everyone will be able to join it. Private means somebody needs inside of the group has to allow you to join that group. Okay, it's just like creating a closed group on Facebook. If the group is closed, you need a permission to join the group. Public, private, and broadcast. And this is basically the owner of the group only will be able to put the post, not everyone else will be put the post on that page. Okay, so that is what the broadcast only is going to do. So in the public, everyone can see and updates and join. Private, only members can see the updates and membership needs and approval. And only in the broadcast, only the group owners and the managers can create the new post. Okay.
So in public, you can even join without even.
Yeah. So if you go ahead and create a public group here, recruiting public group, and then you can see which people you wanted to add. Okay, so if you go back here and if I say, and then if you can even archive this group, if no one is communicating over last 90 days, you can put it archive. Okay, and if you don't want to do that, you can click on this radio button. So now if you go ahead and create this, now you can even see how many people you can add the members here. So let's say I wanted to add Pranka here, you wanted to add Salman here, you wanted to add Banish here. So now you have created these groups. Okay, and now if you log in and if you logged in as Salman, they will see that you are a part of this group. Okay, so you can do, and if you want to change roles of the people, you can see manager, you can make someone the manager, and if you can make someone the owner, you can do those kind of things as well here. And if you have created a private group, then somebody needs a permission to join that group. So that is the difference here. So if you wanted to also schedule a particular event and then you wanted to send that information to everyone, you can go ahead and create an event here. Okay, there's one more thing here that is important, is this one. Everything else is very, very easy to understand. It's like you know what's going on and it's very easy. This is what we call it as the global actions. Okay, this is what we call it as the global actions. So here what it is nothing but it's the shortcut. Okay, it's the shortcut for creating something. Let's say I wanted to create a new task. This is a shortcut. Instead of going back to this particular sales page and then going to the task menu and creating a task through there, you can just go to the setup. Sorry, you can go to the chatter here, and then you can. This is like called as like a shortcut of creating it. A new contact, you can create it through here. But the important point to be noted here is, guys, if you don't have a permission on creating a new contact, then you will not see that new contact link here. So it's not like there is a there is a loophole. If you have the permission, then only you're going to see the new contact. If you have the permission on creating a new contact or a new case, if you don't even have the permission on creating a new case, you will not be able to see this global action here. Okay, so you need also a permission to create a record for that particular action along with seeing it here. So let's say, so if you wanted to create a new case, you just have to answer these 4 fields instead of going to your cases and creating a record here. So you see here you have to enter all these different kind of data. And this place you don't have to do all those kind of things. You can just go back to the chatter and you can create the records through here. So this is more of like people who are using chatter a lot, they don't have to go around and they can just go through this place and they can create the records here. Similar, these are only for your standard objects. Now, if you wanted to add a global action for our custom object, we can do that in chatter. Okay, how to do that? You go back to the setup here. There is a place called global actions. Okay, you click on the global actions here on the left hand side. This is what it's for. If you wanted to create a new action, you click on that new action. Now what you wanted to do here, I wanted to create a new record. What is the object that you want to target? I wanted to target the position object. So you go up here, you select the position from here. What is the label you wanted to give? Label is nothing but how it's going to appear. New record. So it's going to say new position, something like that. Okay, so it'll replace it with the record that you have. What is the name? This has to be like with underscore. So I'll say new position. Okay. So this is what we have created, a global action. Now, if I wanted to go ahead and hit the save. Now, what are the fields you wanted to add? Like in the form that you are creating, what are the important fields that you want? So you can go ahead and select that. Okay, I want a position title. What else I want? I want the status of the position. I want the maximum pay on the position, the minimum pay on the position, and open date on the position. Okay, these are the values that I want.
Minimum thing that they.
Yeah, minimum they have to like answer those. Okay, like it's a small form, and then you go ahead and hit the save button. Here you can also do some predefined field values. Let's say every time a new position comes, the status will be new position. So somebody doesn't even have to select that. You can even set those predefined values here. So let's say I wanted to have a predefined value for status. Okay, and what is the predefined value? You will say it's a new position. So you can go ahead and do that. So these are automatically, those values will be there. Okay, now if you wanted let's say description, manually should say automatically if there is there a description tab here? No. Okay, let's say function area. So I wanted to give a specific value of information technology. So you can predefine some values here. Not only the pick list, you can even pick anything. Let's say if I don't provide the minimum pay, the value will be something about 70,000. Let's say it's the minimum. Okay, hit the save button. So now these are the different predefined values you have created, and now what you have done is this is a new global action. Now if you go back to the chatter, do you see new position here?
Not yet.
Not yet, because you have not added that action to the layout of this page. Okay, so then we have to go to the setup and you have to add that new position. I mean, are you following? So you go to I'll repeat if you want me to. So now what you have done is you have created the global action. Vinesh, are you following? Okay, so you go to the global action, and then what you do is you click on the layout. So first you have created the global. Now these are the publisher layout. That is the layout of the page. The global layout is the layout for that page, the chatter page. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and edit this layout. And in this layout, right now it has all these different log a question, new contact, etc. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag my new position up here. So now new position will be a part of this layout. So first what you did, you created the action, and then what you did, you basically added that global action to this layout. So now if I go back to the chatter, and if you come here, you will see this new position getting created. And if you click on the new position, automatically you see these are the predefined values, 70,000 and the mid status. Those are the values that we've already picked up. So here I can say Salesforce level 1 position. And the maximum pay you can say here is, so let's say we had a validation rule, and if I'm not following the validation rule, let's see if that's working or not. And this is the open date, and hit the create button. See, even the validation rule comes into picture if you're going through the chatter. Okay, so you have already created a validation rule saying minimum pay should not be greater. That's why you're seeing this. So if I go back here and hit the create button, you will be able to have this thing called as a chatter here. Okay, so if you go back here, you have created this particular position, and if you go to the position section, you will see that in the positions record, that particular record has been created. So if you go to the positions here, there's a Salesforce level 1 got added, but this one is through the chatter. And now you can see all the values that got auto-populated, because what we did was when we were creating the global action. So this is the way of creating the global actions. Do you want me to repeat, Binish?
My question is, I understand what you're doing and you're creating this. My questions are, how do these things, or how do these scenarios play out in real life situations? When do you use them? When do you not use them? So these are criteria that are given. See, that's where my whole, everything we're doing in class, I understand creating, deleting, editing, adding objects, this. But when, I mean, are you going to be given a platform saying, hey, you need to go create this and this are the requirements? Or are they going to actually physically tell you, hey, in this chatter, we need these and these profiles and settings and modifications?
So they're going to say that, okay, in the chatter, we need these actions.
Okay.
So they're going to say those. And then they're going to say that, okay, in those actions, these are the fields user has to type. Not the full form they have to go through, but these are the fields that I wanted in that particular action. So they're going to commit with you. And then they will also tell you that, okay, for which profiles these actions should be available.
In the chatter.
In the chatter. So if you are logged in as, say, a standard user and you don't have the permission to see that, you can even control those kind of things. So they're going to tell you which profiles you will have permission, which action you have to create, and what are the fields that you wanted to add in that particular action. Okay, so that's what they're going to do it. So this is what the new action is for. I'll give you another example. If you wanted to create a new action for candidate, how you're going to do first, now you walk me through. So instead of adding all those fields, first thing what I'll do is I'll go to the setup and I'll go to the global actions. I'll type in global action here. Okay, so this is the global actions. Now what I'm going to do is, next is, what is the action I wanted to create? I wanted to create a new candidate. So the target object would be candidate. This label would be new record. And then here I'm going to say new candidate. And then hit the save button. So now what are the fields you want? You can pick up first name here, last name here. If you want somebody's email, you need it these days, SSN number. Those are the information that I want. Hit the save button. Okay, so if you want to do that.
Or visa required, I don't know.
Okay, visa required. Hit the save button. So now you have created the action. Now if you wanted to set any predefined values, you can set up here. So by default, let's say country should be United States. Okay, country is United States. Now if I go back to the candidate, the chatter, do you see, I will see that link here? No, what I need to do next? Then
you need to go to
Layout.
publisher layout. So I have to add that to the layout. What you can do here, guys, is either you can create a new layout and assign that layout to the system admin, or you can edit the existing one. You know what I'm saying? So you can create a new layout. Okay, you can say, and it is similar to the global layout, and you can create your custom global layout. And in this layout, let's say I wanted these actions. So you go ahead and, because it's a copy of the global, that's why you see all of these. Right. And then you can scroll down the new candidate, hit the save button. Right. Now, still you will see that if you go back to the chatter, you still will not see the candidate, even if you have created the layout, because you need to assign that layout to the system admin. You know what I'm saying? So now you have, this is the global layout. You have created the custom layout, and you want that chatter should use the custom layout instead of the global layout. So what I'm going to do is, you go back to the global layout, whatever, global, and here under the publisher layout, now you're going to do the assignment. So now what you're going to say is, to my standard admin profile. So from here you select the system admin profile and you say, right now all of them are using the global layout. What I'm going to do is, let's say I want the system admin to use the first I'll select it, and then here I'll say use the custom global layout. So now this particular profile is using this layout. You getting it, Amin?
Because you're not impacting anybody else.
You're not impacting anyone else. You created your own layout and you wanted that, okay, when you logged in as so-and-so person, if you go to the chatter here, now if you're logged in as standard system admin, you're seeing new candidate. But if I log out and log in back again as, let's say, Priyanka, I'm not going to see new candidate because Priyanka is a standard user and she does not have the global layout assigned. So let me verify it. So if I go back here, verify. So now what's going to happen is you're going to go ahead and if you go to your chatter, Priyanka is not going to see new candidate because she does not have that layout assigned to her. So she only sees the other stuff. And do you know why she does not, even she has the, this is the important question guys, even she has the global layout. Koti, even she has global layout assigned. Why is she not seeing all the other one? New task, new case, new all that kind of stuff. Why you think that's not there? Because she's a standard user, right? And everyone except system admin has a global layout assigned. Now in the global layout, you have added all those new tasks, new opportunity, new case, everything. But still, she does not see the rest of those. Why?
Because the assignment? They have an assignment?
What profile does she have?
Exactly. So it goes to the profile. Because if she does not have the permission on the standard objects creation, she's not going to see anything on the chatter. You know, that was another thing. If you don't have the permission, just by having chatter is not going to make a difference. So Salesforce takes into consideration your profile, your permissions all the time. There is no loophole that you can do things that you cannot do through chatter, but you can do through here. No, there's not no such thing. So it will take in consideration of what profile you have, what permissions you have, and then only it will go ahead and do further. So these are called the global actions. You getting it, guys? Any questions? Okay. There's one very important topic, and I think I forgot about it. That is called the record types. Okay. So this is the end of the chatter. This is all about the chatter. Next thing that we have here is the record types. Now, what do you mean by record types? Now, guys, let's say you have created a particular, you go to the recruiting here, you go to the position, you click on the new position, and you have these different fields that you have. Now, the problem here is, guys, if the user who is creating a new position and he's creating a position for an account manager, for account manager person, these fields does not make sense, right? Required languages section does not make sense. These fields only make sense for a non-IT, for an IT person. These fields does not make sense for the non-IT people, right? So you can't go ahead, what you're going to do, you'll go ahead and say new IT position and then non-new IT position. Do you want to do those kind of things? That's kind of weird, right? You don't want to create two different objects to say new non-IT and new IT.
Yeah, it gets complicated.
It gets complicated. Similarly, let's say there was in the real-time scenario, what's going to happen is, let's say you are working in a account, you are working in like a brokerage firm. Okay. There are different kinds of accounts. You have leasing accounts, you have like the rental companies, etc. And the things that make sense for the leasing does not make sense for the home, other kind of rent places. So there will be certain fields that you wanted to make it visible to that particular account and you wanted to hide it in another brokerage account or in the leasing accounts or legal accounts and all those kind of things, right? So you can't create different objects in those scenarios. You can't go ahead and see, okay, new brokerage account, new this, new that. What you want is you wanted to customize so that if the person who is creating the account is a brokerage, these are the fields he should see. If person who want to create is a leasing account, these are the fields he should see. Okay, so that is done through something called as record types. Okay, those are something done through the record types. Now, what does that mean? For those, let me go back to my profile, Deepika. Go ahead and hit the login. So now what you're going to do here is you go back and you say record types. Or you can go to the position object. Let's say if you go back here, you click the view object. See there, these are the record types. Okay, let's say I want two record type. One is for IT and the other one is for non-IT. Okay, so I wanted to get two record type. One is for IT, the other one is for non-IT. So what I'll do is for IT record type, I will see these fields. What fields? All the required language section. I will see those required languages section. Where is the required language section? This one. I will see the required language section. But for a non-IT position, I will not see the required language. This is my requirement. Like, okay, this is my requirement. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the setup here, and I will go to that particular object, which is the position object, and you say view object here. You scroll down, and there is a place called record types. So you go ahead and click on that record type. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is you go ahead and click the record type, hit the new button. Now what is the existing record type? This is going to be master. You get this default. Okay, so this is master. What is the record type label? Let's say is for IT positions. It has to be active. Now which all profiles do you want this record type to be visible? So right now I want all of them to see this record type. Okay, and then hit the next button. And then here, these are different layout. Position layout is there. And hit the save button. So now we have created a first record type for IT position. Okay, I'll show you what is thing. So I've created an IT record type, and then I'm going to create a non-IT record type. So if the user has picked up IT record type, this is the page he's going to see. If the user has picked up non-IT, this is the page he's going to see. So I'm going to create two different layouts here. So there will be page layout 1 and the page layout 2. Are you getting, guys? So first thing I did is I created an IT record type, and that has the position layout. So what the position layout is nothing but this whole layout that you see. This is the position layout, which has the required language section. Now I'm going to create another layout, and which will not have the required language section. What will I do next is I will assign the IT one with the position layout and the non-IT one with the another layout. You getting my point? So I need two view of the same page. So first view I will give it to the IT record type, and the second view I will give it to the non-IT record type. And the first view will have the required languages section. The second view will not have the required languages section. Does that make sense? You know why we are doing everything? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the position, and I'm going to say view object, and then I'm going to create a new layout. So this is the page layout for the position. Now I will create another layout, and that is similar to position layout, but this is a non-IT layout. Okay, and hit the save button. Now here, this layout will not have the required language section. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all the sections. So what I'm going to do is,
so after you're still going to create another record type.
Exactly.
Non-IT.
Exactly.
After you create.
Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this whole section. That's what I did. So now this layout does not have required language section. You getting my point? So what I did was I have got rid of that required languages here section. Remember there was a required language section with Java, and so I just did. I just said minus here on the section, so it will go gets rid of that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit the save button. So now what I have.
So basically you kind of cloned it.
What I did?
You kind of cloned it.
Cloned it, exactly. I kind of cloned it with the different, yeah, but the new clone does not have the required. You can even add some of the fields in that, or you can delete some of the fields. You can do, it's not just you can only remove, you can even add some extra fields for that layout. Okay,
we have add another section saying if it's a leasing position.
Exactly, leasing account.
For rent, for lease.
Exactly.
Owner finance, whatever.
Okay. So you have added those. So now we have two layout, non-IT and this position layout. Position layout is nothing but the IT layout. Okay, it's just the same as IT layout, because this layout has the, if you see here, if I click on edit, this layout has the required language section. Okay, and then hit the save button. So next thing is I'm going to create a new layout here. So if I go back, let me go ahead. I did a small thing here. So if I go to the IT positions, you can not only just change what fields, you can even see what values, pick list values should be available for that particular record type. Means in the functional area for a non-IT position, IT information technology does not make sense, right? So if you go back here to the functional area, see for the IT record type or for the IT positions, only information technology drop box makes sense. The rest of those does not make sense. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. So
go one step back.
Yeah.
Cancel that. So you're in IT positions.
The record type.
Okay.
So I went to the record type.
Right.
And then there is a pick list available for editing. Automatically all the pick lists that you have in your object, you'll see it here. Okay. So these are the different pick lists: functional area, job level, status, and type. And let's say I wanted to even customize what pick list a user should see when he is entering as a IT record type. Okay, so I can go ahead and say click on functional area, edit next to the function area. So I'm creating a record type for IT positions. So what I'm doing is I don't need finance and human resources. I can move it on the left. I don't need retail operation miscellaneous. I can move it on the left. Just bear with me for a minute. Okay. Hit the save button. So now when you are logged in as an IT record type, when you are creating an IT position, and if you select that drop down, you will only see IT. So now if you go back to this one, let's say under this functional area, now you only see information technology. It makes sense? Does it make sense? Okay. So now I'll go back to my step. So I have created this IT. Now I have to go back to the position object. Now I have to create a non-IT record type. So I've created two layouts, but I have not created the non-IT record type. So I'm going to go ahead and create the second record type here, which is a non-IT new. I'll call it as non-IT. And then active, it has to be active. Which all profiles you wanted to enable? Make this one. Now what is this default section is for? Default section is for, guys, let's say you work in leasing department. Okay. You don't care about the rest of the accounts. So what you can do is you can select that particular layout as your default one. So every time you come and you create a new position, you will see only this layout. You will not even bother to see the other layout. So you can make that as a default one. Okay, you can make it as a default one. So that is what. So let's say standard user recruiting, non-IT is the default one. Okay, you getting my point? This is the default one, and hit the next button. And then which layout it has to select. Now I'm selecting that for the non-IT. So what I did is I created two record types. I created two layouts. And then I assigned the IT one to this IT layout and the non-IT one to the non-IT layout. Okay. And then hit the save button. And if you have any functional area, let's say for this functional area, I want everything except information technology because this is a non-IT. And then hit the save button. Okay. So now if you go back to the position, first thing they're going to ask is are you talking about IT position or non-IT? If you are clicked on the IT, you will go ahead and see this one, which has a required language section because you picked up the IT record type. And if you go back and if you say non-IT, then you will not see the required language section because this is a non-IT layout. Getting my point? So every time they have to answer this question because you have not made anything default for them. But now if you go back we made for the other profile, the standard user recruiting profile, we made it what? We made it a non-IT. So I think Binish has that profile probably. I'm not sure. Why do I need to answer that again and again?
I know.
It's annoying. So now if you go to the position, click the new button. Okay, I think that was not his profile. So let's go back and log out. Let's say Pranko. So based on that, you're going to get it. Let me just see. Log out. So if you go to the users here, let me see what was the standard recruiting profile. That was Binish, standard user recruiting. Okay, so then what I did missed was, let's log out. Non-IT, if you select, you go to the same one. Okay, there's no languages section. If you select the IT, you see this section. I don't know why default is not working, but the purpose of the default is automatically you will only going to see that thing. Okay, so this is the main important thing for record types. So now you understood why we need record types. If you want different view for different conditions, instead of creating 4 different objects to take in consideration of all, we created 4 layouts and 4 different record types. You assign those record types to that particular layout. And this is what the record types is. Any confusion on the record types?
We created 2 records and 2 layouts. The only thing I'm missing, I think, is
They'll always ask. So whenever you are creating a record type, there is a page that asks you which layout you want to assign that to. Let me show you. Where was it? So if you go back here to the setup, and if you go to the record types, so you have to first go to the object. It's not, go to the new here, quick access menu. Oh, I'm logged in as Binish. Go to the system admin. Go to the positions, quick access menu, view object. New record type. Let's say I'm going to create a test record type. This is active. You have to make this active. Hit the next button. See this one. Which page layout you want to assign? So you need to pick. This is the page layout you have to. Then that words. So that particular record type will be this one. If you forgot this step, what you have to do is you go to the position object, and there is a place called page layout assignment. So you go to page layout assignment. Here you can say for IT position record type, I want this layout. So if you, let's say, which layout are you missing?
for the non-IT, right?
So non-IT is pointing to what right now?
The position layout.
So you click on that non-IT. So you say edit assignment first. You click on edit assignment. You select the non-IT from here, and you
go to system admin, right?
Yeah, you go to system admin, and you go to the record, that particular object, and you just change it, this particular one, to the non-IT one. Yeah, there's an edit assignment. Let me come there. So the next thing we're going to do is workflow and the approval processes. Now, what is a workflow and what is an approval process? So far, let's say every workflows is nothing but if you wanted to automate your actions, right? Let's say every time you place an order with Amazon, you get an email saying, hey, this order is placed and this is your order number. Okay, and it's more like customized one. So that doesn't mean somebody is sitting at Amazon and hitting the send email button every few minutes. That's not, because there's a number of people coming to the Amazon. So they're automating that process. Similarly, in Salesforce, we have something called as workflows, where you can automate some things. Okay, automate means you can send an email, you can update a particular field. Let's say every time a new record gets created, I wanted to update the maximum pay to so and so. Every time a new record gets created, I wanted to update the location. Okay, every time a new position creates, I wanted to assign a task to someone that, okay, work on this position, fill it up. Okay, so these are the things you can automate in workflows. And in the workflow, you can also send outbound messages. Now, what do you mean by outbound messages? Outbound messages means, let's say every night, all the records that created into the system, send it to the other system. So those are the outbound messages. So all the records will be go ahead and shipped to the, not like they'll go transfer to the other device. Those are called as outbound messages from Salesforce to another third-party application you want to send it. Okay, that is the outbound messages. We cannot do it here because we don't have an external system, but that is the meaning of an outbound messages. But we'll see how to send an email, how to create a task for someone, and how to, what do you call, how to create a task, how to send an email, and how to update a particular field. These are the 3 workflows we can do. Okay, so before talking about how to send an email, Salesforce has given you a lot of email templates. Okay, which means that, okay, whenever you get an order from Amazon, you get it in a specific template. Hey, this, and hey with the name, and then it says thank you for your order, this is your order number, right? It's a generic template. So Salesforce has given you a lot of these templates by default. So if you wanted to create your own, you can create it. So here is the place, you go to the here and then you say email templates. Okay, and in this email template, guys, I'll repeat, go to the setup here, and on the left hand side type in email templates. Okay, and you click on these email templates, and in this email templates, this is the place you get the new template. Okay, these are the existing templates. Is everyone on the same page? These are the default ones Salesforce has given. Okay,
You have it all uploaded.
what are you saying? Okay, so you go ahead and create, and these are the folders. So you get a folder, public email templates, and you get a personal email template folder. Let's say I wanted to put it into my personal email templates folder. Okay, and you go ahead and hit the template button. If you want to create a new folder, you can create it. These are the different types of the email templates that you get. Text, HTML, custom, visual force. Letterhead is nothing but your company information. Let's say you already have a letterhead with the logo of your company and with the certain phone number and all that. You can create a letterhead, and then every email that you send will be sent with that letterhead. Okay, yes sir.
Okay, so the letterhead you would have to
Create first.
You would have to create it, and then you would have
to use that letterhead. So if you wanted to
have to put it inside the
so there is a letterhead section here.
No, but you have to create it and put in your documents, right?
No, you just go to the letterhead here, okay, and you create a letterhead.
You can just upload it if you have one ready.
No, you can create it here. Okay.
But you know, like you were talking about loading images.
Yeah, if you have letterhead, you can upload it from here.
And you would have to drop it into
the documents, and then you can use it. So if you say new letterhead, or let me go back in the email templates. If you have your own letterhead, right, what you go is you go ahead and click on email templates. You say new template,
right,
and let's say you can only use the one which says with letterhead. Okay, here they'll ask you where is your email template. Oh, okay, so the one you have to make it in active letterhead first.
Oh, never mind. We'll just stick with it.
Okay, so if you go back, you click on the letterheads here, and you create a new letterhead. So next, and then say new letterhead, available for use, yes. You have to click on this one. So if you upload it and make it available. Okay,
so you go to letterhead?
Yeah, you go to letterhead and click new letterhead. So we'll say recruiting, company letterhead. Okay, and hit the save button. So now here you can select what are the background color you want. If you wanted to add a logo, let me select the logo. So logo will be picked up from the same place. Okay, the logo will be picked up from the same place. So you have selected that logo. There is my logo. Let's say here also I wanted to put a logo, so I'm going to go ahead and select that logo as well. It's very simple. You following?
So you just edit.
Yeah, select the logo and then
Select logo.
yeah, select logo and then you get it. Yeah. If you want to remove it, there's a remove. If you wanted to change the properties of this, you can see, okay, I want the logo on the left hand side, all that kind of stuff. Am I going too fast?
No.
Okay. So here you selected this. And then here, if you want to change the body color, you can go ahead and click on the body color. Let's say red or whatever. Pick it up. I don't think it didn't change. Red. And click OK. So now it's going to change it. Getting it? And then if you want to change the footer properties, you can go ahead and do it. If you wanted to provide your email address, all that kind of stuff, you can go ahead and write it down. Okay, and hit the preview. So this is how your information will look like. Okay, this is how your email will look like if you're going to send it to someone. The body, the text that will go, it will go inside of this red block. Okay, so you have created this email template, and let me go ahead and save it. So this is your email template. Now this template, if it is this checkbox is not checked, you will not be able to use those HTML email templates because they need a letterhead, and you have not made a letterhead, because you have to make sure that you have clicked on this available for use checkbox if you want to use the letterhead. So now the next thing we have to do is, we have created our letterhead. Now we're going to create our email templates. So we'll go back to the email templates here. Click on new email template. So they have Salesforce have given you 4. HTML, text, custom, Visual Force. Visual Force is the scripting language which we are not going to cover in this. It's out of the scope of this course. We're going to talk about how to create an HTML custom, and it's very simple. It's very self-explanatory. So you go ahead and click the text one, hit the next button here. And then here, guys, you can just write an email saying, thank you for, let's say I wanted to send an email every time a new candidate comes. Okay. Thank you for joining our recruiting app. Okay. And if you guys want like an address that make it a little more personal, you can select the candidate first name also. So if I wanted to say dear and with the name of the candidate. So what you can do, there is something called as merge field available on the top. You see that? From here you can select which field you want to access. So let's say you wanted to access the candidate object fields. So from here, guys, you pick up the candidate object, and I don't see it. I think it's on the top probably. Yeah, candidate fields. So that is the fields for the candidate object. So now if you see, these are all the fields that are available for the candidate. Getting it? So let's say you want first name. So you got a code here, right? You got a merge field value. And the next one. So let's say you selected the first name from the select field section. You got this value. So now you copy this value and you place it next to the dear. Automatically, this will get replaced whenever you are sending the email to that person. You getting it?
So and then to add last
Let's say
name,
if you wanted to add a last name, you give a space here, and then what you do, you select the last name from here, and this field value, you got a field value, you copy that one, and you put it here.
you want to put and then
You want to say, hey, Deepika and Khanna, or you want to say Deepika Khanna?
hey, this is coding.
So you can do that. So whatever you're going to put it in between, that's what it's going to get replaced. Okay. So whenever I'm sending an email, this person will get replaced here, and this person will get the last name. Thank you for joining. We are looking forward to serve you.
You do the available for use for users.
Yes, available for use. Thank you. So now if you wanted to send like who is sending the information, you can always select. So that is under the user because you are logged in. So those you can get it through the user field. So select the user fields from here, and let me select the user first name. So because it will show my name. So first name, and then if you want the last name, you can get the last name as well. user's last name. If you want to pick up the email address of the user or the username, you can go ahead and do that also. So if you wanted to select the username, get the username from here, and this is what it's gonna display. First name, last name, and the username. Got it? And then hit the save button.
Error invalid data.
Uh,
We give the email template name.
Okay, what is it? Text email template example. Thank you. Welcome to Salesforce. Let's say this is the subject. Should I hit the save button? Okay, so now we have this thing. So now this is the email that we have created. Similarly, you can create the emails with the letterhead also. Let's go ahead and create that one.
Subject.
Okay, and if you want to test it, you can just test it here. So let's say,
Why is it error?
because you have not full pop, it will also show you why it is showing errors. Because those fields are empty. Value, put the value there.
You said email template name?
Yeah, I put it as text email template example. That's my name.
Come up with your own name.
Okay. So next thing is, so you made this available for, make sure Vinesh and Amir, these checkboxes checked, available for use.
Use not check.
Okay, so now we have done this, and then if you wanted to attach a particular file, you can even do that. Okay, if you wanted to send somebody like Salesforce information, you can go ahead and attach those things here. Next thing is, let me see what does this attach does. It takes you to the, see, it takes you to the, okay, you can select it from your computer as well. Okay. So now this is my email template. Now let's say I wanted to create another email template with the letterhead. So you go back again, you already have created a letterhead. So you go ahead and create a new one, HTML using the letterhead. Okay, and hit the next button. And available for use, the same one, we can say HTML with letterhead example. That is my name of my email template. Letterhead, what I'm going to use? I'm going to use the company letterhead that I already created. And what kind of format? It is like a formal email? Do you want it to be like a promotion? What kind of it is? So let's say it's just the form, free form letter. There's nothing like a big deal about it. You can also select how you want that email to be. So my personal email, HTML with letterhead, recruiting company, this is the, and then hit the next button. Similarly, you have, so now you will see this whole thing, and then you can enter. Thank you for being part of Salesforce community. This is the body. Okay, and then you can go ahead and do whatever, and then if you wanted to do the same merge field, you can pick it up from here. Okay, and then this is another email template, and hit the next button. You don't have picked anything, so I'm going to say from है क्या कह रहे हो आप क्या कह रहे हो
I put something in there, but do I need to copy from HTML later?
I just had some visitors, so they are just visiting.
Type this in, right?
Okay, and yeah, that's right.
And then I hit next, but it doesn't come in the body.
Oh, so that was, what was that?
Yeah, mine is not coming in the body either.
Where it is coming?
It's not.
When you click next, it doesn't come anymore.
Okay, wait a minute. What is this for? Let's just see where this is gonna go. Let me just copy this whole thing. Control C. Oh, so this is the content. Copy text from HTML version is basically, let's say you have an HTML file, you can just get the text from there. Okay.
But you're seeing it in the body. What we're typing over here, we're not seeing.
We're not seeing it when we hit next.
No, I didn't see anything here. I copied it from the other one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to do it twice, or you don't have to do it in this page when I write it. It came in the end.
And then hit the save.
So you do it again?
Just leave it, okay? Don't leave. You did it in the other one. Don't put anything
No,
here.
just hit save. Don't type that. Just hit, and you hit save, it'll come up. I guess it's just showing us.
And hit the save. Okay, let me make sure that where these things go. And hit the save button. So, oh, that was just a plain text preview. Okay, that was just, so basically this was a place you could have put the HTML code in, and then automatically that would have copied all the text from that HTML code. Okay, so let's say there's an HTML file with all the HTML tags, and if you select the copy, then it will have already copied those values and put it here, and hit the, if you want to test it, you can go ahead and test it here. Okay, you can select for a particular user. We'll test it now. Let me just go ahead and send it to me. Go ahead and click OK. Now if I go back, you see there is a message came. Thank you for being part of. It does not display images. And then this is what it is. Got it?
An email preview to
I do a lot of testing on this, so don't know how to create them.
See, it's easy through Salesforce creating the email
Because
templates.
I know we, our company is Blue Hornet, and it's a pain in the butt.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean Blue Hornet?
That's the email campaign.
You know, in our company, all the projects are named after the name of a car. Cayman.
Oh, no, that'll be bad.
Yeah, well, for all our project group names are from Star Wars.
Okay, we had like
Solo, Yoda.
we have like Mustang,
Canada.
Mustang, and Cayman. I don't know. I've never heard of Cayman.
Porsche.
Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah.
oh. So it's a Porsche Carrera, right? Carera is also
There's
there.
Carrera, Cayman.
Ah,
There is Cheyenne. There's
okay.
Panamera.
So you go up here. So now you have created the email templates. Okay, and the custom is also similar. It's just like this plain text. You can use the letterhead, all that kind of stuff. Now what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and write our first email. Okay, we're going to go ahead and send it to the people through the workflow rule. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and create workflow rules. So I showed you there are different things that you can do through the workflow. You can send an email. You can update a particular field. And you can create a task. And you can do outbound messages. So these are the things that you can do through this one. So you go back to the setup here. And you say email, sorry, workflow. And you go up here and you say workflow rules. Okay. Now what is a workflow? You always have to read this. The many of the tasks you normally assign is the emails you regularly send, and the record updates are part of your organization's standard process. Instead of doing this manually, you can configure a workflow to do it automatically. Okay, so what is a workflow? Workflow automates the process, the following types of action. It automates the tasks, it creates a task for a person, it assigns to that person. Email alerts, you can send an email alerts to the people. Field updates, update the value of a field. If you want to send outbound messages, if you wanted to send in messages through an API using an XML, you can do that. Workflow can, for example, workflow can assign follow-up tasks to a support rep 1 week after a case is updated. So you have to read these. These are very important. You can send sales management an email alert when a SAP rep qualifies a large deal. So you wanted to send an email when this happens. Change the owner field of a contract 3 days before it expires. So if every time expires, so before field owner changes, you want to send an email. So each workflow consists of when that workflow should run. Okay, there are different criteria. When the workflow should run means, do you want the workflow to be run every time a field gets created, every time an object gets created? Then what will, or you want the workflow to be run every time the object gets created and every time it updates? Okay, these are different ways that when you want the workflow to get fired. So let's say your workflow says every time a new position gets created, I want to send an email, if that is your workflow criteria. Or if you say every time that position updates, I want to send an email, then what will happen is every time you change anything on that position, you are going to get an email. Or there is another one, every time every time the object gets updated and it meets a certain criteria. So let's say you wanted to send a position, an email to a candidate whenever a candidate gets created with the last name of so and so, okay, or with the country of so and so. So you can go ahead and do these criteria that cause the workflow rule to run when you want the workflow to run. What are the actions that should be taken place when the record matches the criteria? So if there is a criteria, if you said that, okay, whenever the candidate comes with the first name of Deepika, I wanted to fire an email. So this action will be what? Sending an email. That will become the action. For example, Salesforce can automatically send an email that notifies the account team when a new high value opportunity is created. So whenever there is a big thing that we have acquired or there is a big deal going on, then you wanted to send an email to congratulate everyone and all that kind of stuff. So you can go ahead and do those through the workflow. They're also time dependent and time independent. Let's say time independent means immediately. Okay, you wanted to see, you created a position gets created, you send an email. That's a time independent. Let's say you wanted to send an email. Let's say you have a Netflix account and you are getting your membership is getting over, or the trial version is over, and before the trial version expires, you get an email saying, hey, your trial version is going to expire in 3 days. So that's a time dependent one. Okay, so whenever you can create a time dependent workflow also, 24 hours after this email, or 24 hours after the candidate has been created. Okay, so time dependent actions that queue when a record matches the criteria and execute according to the time trigger. So based on what time you have selected. For example, Salesforce can automatically send an email reminder to the account team if a high value opportunity is still open 10 days before the close date. So if you wanted to send an email, if the position is still open and it's been 10 days before the close date, then this is the time trigger. So it depends on the time. So you got it? Next, then you have continue. Always read these. Most of the times questions come from those topics. That's why make sure you read this. So first thing is criteria that cause the workflow rule to run. So first thing you have to select when you have to run. Okay, so that is the first rule that we're going to go ahead and create. Which object are we talking about? Let's say I'm talking about candidate object. Okay. Next. What is the name of the rule? See, when to evaluate this rule? When you're going to evaluate, create it, and any time it is edited to subsequently meet the criteria. So let's say you have a criteria and your criteria is that every time a candidate country equals US. Okay, candidate country equals US. That's what, this is my criteria. So if every time a candidate gets created and whose country is equals to US, I wanted to fire this workflow rule. So here I'm going to say new candidate from US and hit the save and next. Got it? If you have multiple conditions, you can put it here. There is an AND operator here.
Okay, what do you go back after this? New candidate from US.
You can also select a formula. So criteria it met and formulates to true. Let's say you wanted to have some, like, you want to check for something like there's a formula, or if you want to just say here, it even takes care of that also. So you say United States, it takes care of that formula also. So if you want to do something like that, okay. So I'll go back here. Okay, country equals United States, save and next. Now here you have created the rule, means when you want this workflow to be evaluated. Okay, that is your rule, workflow. When you want this workflow to be evaluated, and that is saying is whenever a new candidate comes and whose country equals United States, that's when I want to do trigger it. Then what you can do, what is the action? Do you want to send an email alert? Do you want to just do a field update? Do you want to do an outbound message? What do you want to do? Let's say I want to do an email alert. So you can go ahead and select the email alert from here, and you can say send welcome message. Okay. Is there an existing email templates? Yes, I have existing email templates. I did a mistake. What I did do was I didn't put those into the because you didn't put it under the private your folders, right? You put it under the So now I have to go back, go to my email template.
I had something under the cover.
Oh. Let me just clone it.
You push out the clone the best way out, right?
Yep, clone it. So now I'm gonna hit the save. Got it. Next वाली को करते हैं clone. Clone this one. Put it into this folder and hit the save button. That's it. And now you go to the workflow. You already have one, so we have already have one. Added a new action. Okay, workflow action is new email alert. Okay. Thank you. Oh. Send welcome message, email template. Now you will see the email template that I've just created. HTML with letterhead example. So you pick that one. Protected component means you cannot make the changes. Let me see. This somebody asked me, and I think this is the.
You put in your coverage as well.
Again.
To go advanced here.
I think it's this time. Every time this time.
Then what? Do you know? Yesterday we stopped because of this. Yeah, like it happened at the same time, 10, 12 o'clock. Let me go back to the other one. So now let's see if this works. Okay, let's just see. Huh?
Only for you.
Yeah, no, after that Shikha's thing came also. So now we can select for whom you want to send this email. So if you wanted to send it to...
But why would the email trigger would be just for anybody that applies that's in US, right? So why would we pick users here? Because
good point. Okay, so basically you don't want to do that. You wanted to do it based on the email field of that particular candidate, right? So what you're going to do here is you select here move this one to the right hand side. So if there is an email field on the candidate, automatically it will go ahead and send it to that person. Okay. And then I also want to put my name as well, just to be in safer side. Okay. Is there any other email you want to put yours?
Did you
Yeah,
select
finish
email?
that.
Did you select email?
Binish.sheriff.
@gmail.com.
Is this the right one? Okay, current user's email address. So that's going to come from the person that who is sending the email. Make this address the default form if you want to do that. If I don't, that's fine. So what happened is, since we are creating this email for the candidate object, the workflow is for candidate, and what will happen is the email field of that particular candidate will be used to send the email. Okay, if you want to send it to other people, you can send it, we can put it here as well. So now go ahead and hit the save button. So this is my whole thing. I have created a rule where it says the candidate country equals United States. Okay, and then you have created an action,
You send a welcome letter.
and then you send a welcome message and hit the done button. Now the most important thing, you need to activate it. Okay,
Push button on.
there is an activate button here. Next thing here is, just give me a second, guys.
Where is the next one?
Go down.
You don't need a trigger or anything.
Hanji?
You don't need a trigger for this.
Trigger is basically, so trigger is this one, new candidate from US. That's going to be the trigger. Like every time a new candidate comes, which is equal that, and this is not a time dependent.
Oh, is it time?
That's a time dependent. Like if you wanted to send an email after 24 hours from today, this is for. Okay. So here,
Error bordering, you cannot do it on active rule.
because you've already made it active, so you have to first deactivate it and then add a trigger and then do it. So you go to the candidate. I'm going to create a new candidate, and let's say the name of the candidate is
Like,
Yash.
you cannot fill the gas when the car is running.
You can fill the gas when the car is running.
And use a cell phone. They say don't use your cell phone either. Your car will catch on fire.
You, when was the last time you followed any rule?
No,
Email. Let's
you
put.
speed every day.
Let's put email. What's your email?
Sharif@gmail.com. AMYN.
AMYM.
No, N. SHARIF@gmail.com.
Amin Sharif.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we do is you go ahead and select anything if you want, and then hit the save button.
Oh,
So now, we didn't do one thing. We didn't select the United States. So did I get an email? Let me see.
Does it
See?
say US or something?
Yeah. So I got an email. Did you got an email?
Yes.
And what about you?
Yeah, I did.
You should not have got an email. Or you did it on your own.
But mine, when I saved it, when I activated it, it said you cannot add time trigger to active.
Oh, that's fine.
See, you also got an email. Because why did you got an email? Because your email address, we put it here under the
Right,
candidates.
but I didn't get it when I did it on my own. Like I put my email address.
The country needs to say.
Did you say country is equals to United States?
Yes.
Say US. Not
US.
Yeah, U.S.
Uppercase.
Yeah.
You did?
It's right there. Canada country equals.
Yeah, but does that match what you have on yours? On your